Oh wow, really? Okay, good. Everything being picked up on my end. Fantastic, fantastic. Let me get everything else pulled back up. I know I missed the majority of the event, but I'm probably going to take the reins until everything dies off, until whatever time it decides to die off. It may be an hour from now, it may be 5 hours from now. We never can tell. Let me go ahead and get my tweet deck up. And let me comments up. Our stream comments up. We should be rolling good. Turn my gain down just a little bit. Sign into chat. All right. Let me check everything on my end and make sure it's rolling good. It seems it refuses to take my title and was going to the last title I used. I don't like that. Let's get everything back rolling on where it needs to be. Let's go live. Severe weather coverage. Arkansas and Iowa. That should bring everything back to where it needs to be. Cool beans. Okay, so my audio's coming out good. Everything's coming out good. Yeah, sorry for everything and the unprofessionalism right now. It's kind of what it looks like whenever we swap the streams over. And I would like to thank JD and Pack for doing. I really didn't watch. I was busy, but I'm sure they did a great job. My microphone decided to mute itself. Okay, this better? Is this better? Good? No good? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Everything might be good. All right. Yeah, sorry about that. I guess I may just nudge my microphone wire. It is a little loose. But going back to what I was saying, luckily today has not lived up to the hype that it was given. Thank goodness it has not lived up to the hype. After the last few weeks we've had, especially starting on last Friday on March 24th, it's been a journey nonetheless for the majority of the weather community and a lot of storm chasers. I'm not gonna get too much into really what happened that night. I'm probably gonna make a video with other chasers that was with us that night when Rolling Fork got hit, and ever since then we've just been on a wild goose chase. So I'm glad to see today underperforming, and it's just it's a good break. Nonetheless, but we do have some tornado potential for down here near Little Rock later this evening. And that's really about all. I'm not saying that that's about all I know about it, but that's about what we're looking at. We just kind of got to wait and to see what happens. We do have a few severe thunderstorm warnings going on right now, going on into this evening. Go around from Wisconsin, from Iowa. We had a few tornadoes touch down earlier in Illinois, and we have one going on right now in Kansas. But what we're watching for is this area here. And this area I'm about to circle. Here's our moderate risk for tonight that's left over from this morning's forecast. But what I'm going to be watching is you have some stuff starting to form over here around Wichita. So you have this main cell by itself. You have some few like crappy storms right here. But according to the National Weather Service, we're supposed to have some more storms track through this area later tonight. And it's supposed to be a late night event as well. So you might as well just buckle yourselves in and get ready for a long night. It looks like some chasers on that chase for Radar Omega, like Brandon Copping and Brett Adair, are starting to head down this way. Like I said, there's supposed to be some stuff tracking through here later this evening that they are saying that actually has potential to produce a few strong tornadoes. But right now we've got just a few severe thunderstorm warnings, and that's really about it. Around Cedar Rapids, tornado possible. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now, everything today was forecasted to be discrete. But as it went on through its initiation, as it matured, thank goodness it became more of a squall line. And I'm not saying that squall lines are necessarily a good thing, but for today, it was the best thing that could happen on the humane side of things. So luckily it did not stay supercellular. It formed into a line. But let's see what this toward possible tag is about. Let's go ahead on our Radar Omega app and look at the velocity signature that is throwing it this way. Now it is kind of near the edge of the radar, so we're gonna have to be looking. It looks like the Davenport radar is gonna be our best bet. Now it does look intense from this far away, but remember, this is looking up to 7,000 to 8,000 feet in the air, but we do have a very weak velocity couplet here, northeast of Brandon. But that's about what we have going on right now. I had something pop up on my Twitter from some local meteorologist, and it was saying something. I'm not going to go too much into it, but it was saying something about severe weather continuing into this evening. But the further east you go, so I know it says getting into Memphis, Tennessee. They're saying for that area they're not saying it is. It should be done for severe weather tonight. Okay, everyone do me a favor. I want you to go to Brandon Kopic's Twitter. It's at Brandon Kopic WX. He had some of the best tornado footage that I have seen in a very long time. Today in Knoxville, Iowa. He had a rope tornado on the ground across the road in front of him, and it's just amazing footage. I wish I could show it on stream, but I can't. But it's some of the best footage if you're just flat out severe weather enthusiast. That was something that you'll enjoy. Just kind of scrolling through social media and keeping an eye on kind of what has happened today and catching up with everything. But from what I've seen, there has been large hailstones that has been falling and it damaging other storm chasers' cars. I mean, it looks like some of them it looks like someone just pelted it with baseballs on their windshield, and some of them, their cars, it looks like you just blasted them with softballs. I mean, just hundreds of thousands of softballs hitting that vehicle. The amount of storm chasers I'm seeing asking where they can buy a new windshield is insane. Now today, I want you to be careful with what you're seeing because a lot of people are retweeting stuff from last week's event with the double high risk. Because they look so similar, do not really pay much mind to it. These people are just wanting attention and clout. You have ice cream. What kind of ice cream? Also not sponsored by Pepsi. Not sponsored by Pepsi. I know I have everything zoomed out. Because like I said, right now there's really not a lot going on. Man, I could break down this storm here. Mint chocolate chip. Is it on a cone or in a bowl? I am hanging there, Alf area. How about you? I really don't see anything else that's not Twitter drama related going on. On a cone? Now, do you have it yourself or did you go and buy it? Of course, this decides to go to crap. Doing okay, just dealing with what happened earlier. Oh, it's on a cone. You have it. Can I have some? because mint chocolate chip is one of my favorites, but you cannot beat just regular Bluebell vanilla, homemade vanilla. You can't beat it. Oh yeah, for real. A lot of this stuff today, it was brought up as one of the fail modes earlier today in some Mesoscale discussions. That all these storms on the northern mode, so anywhere up here, are going to be extremely elevated, which is going to cause large hail, uh, which I'm grateful for versus what it was showing earlier this week, even up towards yesterday, with the tornado potential that it was showing. See if let's see what this mesoscale discussion is about. Hail remains your primary risk. There we go. So all this enhanced risk out here right now is backed by mainly just hail, which is a good thing to hear. But yeah, please take everything seriously because hail is still very, very damaging and can um, cause damage to yourself and property. And so please treat it with respect. And there's some weird looking storm motion here. Watch how it bends around. Just watch how everything bends around here. That's really cool. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Let's go ahead and take a look at the potential area from later tonight. Um, right now, I'm not too sold on it, but I figured why not go live anyway. What's the harm in it? Not really having a lot of rotation going on with this cell, if not any at all, which is great. Which is great. Now, what's this little rascal doing? What are you doing? Use this Fort Smith radar. Looks like it's trying to grow. Looks like it's trying. Really doesn't have much to it. Now, how's everyone doing on this fine evening? How is everyone doing? Hmm. Not really seeing a lot going on socials. No damage pictures or really neat nothing. Just a bunch of Twitter drama. Yeah, I don't really see much more to do with this storm. These storms right now. Now, if these were over here, I'd be interested. Okay, normally I don't show stuff like this on stream. But I feel like I have to at this point in time. And keep on, I'm not trashing anyone when I say this. I'm not. Over the last few days, especially some videos that came out of Little Rock, if you are in a vehicle or if you're on foot, please, for the love of God, please, do not do this. Don't do that. That's a tornado. You don't need to be getting hit by one of these. There is a reason why we have warnings for these things. There's a reason why we have safety plans for them. There's a reason why everyone, has set these plans in motion to keep you safe. I mean, no tornado shot is a shot worth dying for. None. I mean, sure, me being a chaser, I get close to tornadoes, but I don't get that close. I mean, you just don't do that. Excuse me. See some things on Twitter. It's funny. There's a video of a little girl riding an alligator. Now, I'm very interested. While the event's been dead, when there's no damage photos, nothing on the socials, on social media, nothing. I mean, it's been over 2 hours since our last tornado warning. Excuse me. I keep checking up on these. Just one of these was tornado possible. I think it was this one here, but it should expire here in just a minute. 1.75 inch hail. That's nearly 2-inch hail. That's impressive. Now there were some storms earlier today producing up to 3-inch hail, 3.5-inch hail, and boy, let me tell you, that is a monster hail. Monster. But here we go. Now we got some stuff starting to form. over here around in Kansas near Topeka. These may up, I don't know. They're going into a more favorable environment. Are these tracking more east or northeast? Okay, they're tracking more northeast. Now we're getting to this more favorable environment for these storms. These may be the ones that cause problems later. Not too sure yet. It's just something we're going to have to keep an eye on. All right, tornado possible, including Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and Marion, Iowa, and Hiawatha, Iowa, until midnight. We'll take a look at that here in just a second. But I'm trying to look at everything starting to form. So it looks like this is going to be... Okay, that cell's stationary. That radar's bugged. This one may be as well. But either way, we're going to take a look at this tornado possible tag right up here. Here's our tornado possible tag. Let's see if it's closer to the radar so I can tell you something about it. Not really, but we can clearly see an inflow notch going into it somewhere right in here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this on our velocity. We're still a little far away for us to tell. But it looks like north of Cedar Point is where our main rotation is going to be. So I'm going to keep an eye on this area. But even though it's saying that this area is still prime for large hail, I mean, look at this hailstorm right here. It's got 1-inch hail, but these storms, if they follow the track for not the track, but their history of today, they're going to produce very large hail. I mean, you're looking at a storm that is 60,000 feet tall. I mean, these storms are massive. Once again, we're going to be keeping an eye on this segment here. Excuse me. This guy brings a good point. He said if the cap breaks, he doesn't want to see what will happen. But if it doesn't, everyone has dodged a bullet, and I agree with that. Luckily, the cap today has been very potent in everything, kind of keeping everything's under wrap. I'm sorry for the silence. I'm just trying to figure out what to discuss. I'm just trying to figure out what to discuss. I mean, there is hardly anything on socials. I'm trying not to show anything I'm not supposed to. It looks like NATOcast is even starting to bring everything, all these probabilities down. Now that's interesting. That's the first time I've seen that being used. Lemon-sized hail in Table Grove. Lemon-sized lemon lemon-sized hail. Interesting. Alrighty, do I have anyone from Texas? I don't even know how many people are viewing right now. So let me check, and depending on how many we have, I'm gonna ask a question. You got 4 people watching. Alright, is there anyone in here from Texas? Is there anyone in here from Texas? What's north of Kansas City looking like tonight near Plate City? Thanks. Or, is it Plate or Pallet City? I want to take a look at that. Let's go over here to Kansas. Plattsburgh, Kansas City. Alrighty. Let me actually used to be able to type in an area. Platt City. I'm getting everything around Missouri. Yeah, Platt basically. Alright, so you said north of Kansas City. We really don't have a lot going on. You are on the edge of the enhanced risk. So mainly what you're going to have coming through is some stronger thunderstorms with the capability of producing strong winds and some hail. I really wouldn't worry too much about your tornado threat. I really wouldn't. The majority of your tornado... That was a spider. The majority of your tornado threat will be down here around the Arklatex. So this is where I would really be paying attention if you're from this area. As if I were to be making the forecast, I would be calling north of West Plains gone, and around here will probably be your hot spot. Or not the Arklatex, your 'Arklatex region. So your 4-point region right here around Texarkana. I said you may have some stronger storms come through later tonight, but there really be anything I would be concerned about. And if I'm wrong, you can call me out on it, and I'll let you slap me. But thank you for the question. I always enjoy answering those type of questions. Always. This is really about what you've got right now north of Kansas City. I mean, around Kansas City. This is about it. So you will have these storms tracking through later tonight. Here in the next hour and a half, 2 hours. This way. Well, thank you, Mr. Sean. We're still relatively new. We've really only got this group for about a year. Um, we try to do as many of these recovery streams as we can. If we're not doing one of these, St. Joseph North, St. Joseph North. Once again, it's probably gonna be around the same thing there of St. Joseph North. You may have a few stronger thunderstorms come in throughout the night, but once again, nothing I would be concerned about. You're gonna have some stuff kind of tracking in south of St. Joseph's, but if you're right around the Kansas City metro, around Warrensburg, Higginsville, Richmond, Carlton, you're going to have some strong storms come through there later this evening, passing south of Plattsburgh, if not clipping the southeastern region of it. Matter of fact, now that we're talking about stuff that's going to track near or around Kansas City, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Eureka, Oklahoma. Tracking, see how this is tracking real quick. This is going to track mainly closer to Butler, so you should be fine unless this takes a very deviant motion. But north of Kansas City, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Yeah, but we appreciate the sub. We really do. Every subscriber counts, and I try not to. And those who cover the stream when I'm not able to do it, even when we're doing a chasing stream, every subscriber means something to us. And you're not just another number. You're just not another subscriber to us. We're going to try to answer as many questions as we can, as we can. I don't really have a mod in chat, but I will go ahead and send you our social. I will post our social links in chat. Let me pull that up. If you want to keep up with some of the stuff that we do, any of our storm chasing pictures, footage, whatever that we have, you can follow us on that social media link there. I need to get this bot installed. There's a bot that that sends this stuff like every 20 to 30 minutes. This is a Mountain Dew, by the way. This is not an adult beverage. Not sponsored by Pepsi. Oh, it looks like this is trying to really pull in south of Vinton here around Shellsburg. Let's go and take a look at this velocity and see if it's gotten closer to the radar. Can't really tell. So let's look at storm relative. Still a little far. Once he gets right here around Hermosa, we should be fine with this. It's hard to tell on these skinny lines like this on what they're going to do. You love Mountain Dew? Look, I grew up drinking Mountain Dew. I love Baja Blast. I love Code Red. And what's that new baby blue one? What is it? Voltage? Love them all. But I was highly disappointed when they released, what was it, a Hot Cheeto Mountain Dew. That crap was disgusting. It was gross. And I was excited to try it. I took a sip of it and spit it out. Everyone was so hyped for it. Like, I'm not going to lie. I've got a bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos right here. And I'd rather drink that with a glass of warm water than ever drink that Mountain Dew flavor again. I mean, Flamin' Hot Cheetos are one of my all-time favorite snacks. I mean, I promise you, I've been watching these TikToks about people, blending their spicy Cheetos up and then coating their fried chicken with it and then frying it. Dude, that looks so good. It looks amazing. Wow, this storm has blown up in the last minute. Look at this hell core. But yeah, I mean, been seeing people do that for a while, and I've been wanting to try it. How do y'all think it's going to taste? I mean, in just a matter of minutes, this storm went from staying around 43,000 feet, and now it's bumped all the way up to around 65,000 feet. Wow. This storm is taking in some juice, son. And that's something I was going to lead into later. The further east that these storms go, they're going to be tracking more northeast. Once again, this really shouldn't involve Kansas City or Platte City. But, you know, the farther they go this way, they're coming to a more unstable environment. Because this really hadn't been touched all day. I mean, you've had some crap vection showers. I mean, stuff like, where'd it go? Stuff like this. You know, nothing really concerning. So, the further east that these move, not northeast, east, so around this area here is where we're probably going to see our most tornado potential. Once again, I'm still of the opinion it's going to be around Texarkana. I hate to say it, about the Hot Springs, probably to Fort Smith. So around this area, as I showed earlier, right here. I think that's going to be our hot spot. It's super windy and like 85 degrees today. Dude, I tell you, over here in central Alabama, where I'm from, it got hot. When I say it got hot, I mean it got hot. And on top of that, our humidity, you know, is always like 90% to 100%. So you walk outside and get immediately sticky. And I don't, and the wind today wasn't really that bad here. But I can imagine how it was there. Oh, by the way, sorry for the crappy thumbnail. We really wasn't planning on streaming today. And it was like, might as well. And so now we really don't have my screens just went black. Okay, they're back. And so it was like, might as well. Heck yeah, almost instantly sticky. So, are you familiar with the South? No. I hate scrolling. No. I understand. I tell you, I'm in the heart of Dixie. So, I get tornadoes. We get the outer bands of hurricanes. We get extreme heat. It gets, I mean, from over this side of the state, I mean, it gets awful at times. Awful. Been to Oklahoma once. I haven't been to Oklahoma yet. I've been up close that way. I've been north of Tyler, Texas, in a town called Gilmer. Where is it at? Embry, Sulphur Springs, Greenville, Glendale, Kilgore, Lone Star. Either way, I was in this part of Texas around here, and you know, that's about as close as I've been. Actually, no, I've been to Texarkana. So I've been pretty close to Oklahoma, just never have been. I haven't been to Kansas, but sometime soon. The group and I are trying to plan a trip to go. What's a big spider? And I don't have my hat. I do have a croc though. I do have a shoe. It's dead. Someone clip that. But we're trying to get a trip out to Kansas or Oklahoma to chase. Now, we've chased Texas. You know, Texas is a great chase, especially Northeast Texas. I loved it. Go ahead and refresh everything really quick. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning in Wisconsin. Mainly just for wind and hail. So you're a Kansas City native. I'm sure you're happy with how the Super Bowl turned out, aren't you? Aren't you? Yeah, I've watched a lot of storms uh pass through Kansas City. I've seen some get around Butler, Nevada, north of St. Joseph. You love your Chiefs. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not that big of an NFL fan. I just don't think the game is very pure as like college football is. But I'll tell you what. If I were to have to pick a team, it would either be the Eagles. I've always, for some reason, liked the Packers, but I have to choose between the Eagles and the Packers. But the Cincinnati Bengals right now, they're quickly becoming one of my favorites to watch. Man, I loved watching Jalen Hurts in college, especially when he went to Oklahoma. And because Patrick Mahomes already had one, I wanted Jalen to get him one. I really did. So I'm starting to die off just a hair. But I am very concerned with this storm because the environment it's heading into is going to probably get between Butler and Nevada. But I'm concerned with this environment. Okay, now hold on. Hold on. Jalen is the GOAT too. Just hear me out. Dude lost his starting position to a freshman. Came back, took the freshman's place, and was very competitive in that last championship game. It was one of the first few drafts in the NFL. And then for the last 2 years, that has been one of the most dominant teams. I say give Jalen Hurts a few years, like another season or two, and whew, Patrick Mahomes is going to have to run for his money. And that's not me being a Jalen fanboy. And if they can keep Tua healthy, that's going to be another thing as well. Like I said, there's really not much going on. Let me check this tour possible tag up here and really see what it's doing. It looks like it's trying to take something in. It's trying to right here southwest of Manchester. Let me make sure that this all matches up. Yeah, it is taking in some inflow right here around Robinson. It's taking some inflow here and here. So you do have these kinks in your line. But it looks like this Manchester, what you're seeing is a split in it. Use the radar. That tornado a couple years ago that tracked by the speedway, we had debris in our backyard, people's pictures and stuff. Then it skipped us and demolished parts of Smithville. It was crazy. Dude, growing up, I've been in a few tornadoes. Especially in the house I live in now. I've been in a tornado or two in this house. Yeah, tornadoes are crazy, bro. Being close to a speedway myself, a NASCAR track myself, I understand what that's like. Man, it's really weird to wake up in the morning or walk outside in the afternoon and you just hear loud cars. Frontal convection should gradually increase over the next few hours. Wind and hail continues to be the threat. Surface front is surging. Currently extended from near Kansas City southwest into north central Oklahoma. Moisture has increased markedly into the trailing boundary. Okay. No, I ain't that close to the speedway. Well, I grew up close to one. About as the crow flies, 10-15 minutes. But what that Mesoscale discussion was, you have all this moist air coming down in from Kansas City, feeding these storms here. And that's what's making these storms grow with all the moisture in this area. So everything's being pulled into these storms here from all these moisture. You have dew points in the mid-60s from what I was saying. But Kansas City really should be fine. Oh yeah, when they would do the military jet flyovers, they would fly directly over the house I grew up in, and it would shake the house, shake the windows. It would make the dogs, hide under the bed. It was funny, except when you were sick and trying to take a nap. You'd be mid nap, and that thing, there's a fly over the house, and you're whoosh, 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 and you wake up. I used to have to plug in TVs and would chase tornadoes watching local weather when I was young. Seen a few tornadoes that way. That's a way to do it. That is a way to do it. I promise you. See, what we do now is we have these great uh, radar applications on our phone. Radar Omega, Radar Scope. We're not sponsored by any of them. I just really love to just promote these. I mean, I'm not getting paid to do them. These are amazing products. Amazing products. But I've seen a few tornadoes as well. I've seen a few of them, but this year the tornadoes has not been very nice to any chaser. I'm not getting to the chasers getting hit controversy. Just tornadoes this year, bro, has been absolutely insane. All right, severe thunderstorm warning continues for Fredona, Kansas, and Yates Center, Kansas, and Toronto, Kansas, until 12:15. So this is gonna be this cell here, east of Wichita, being continued. Once again, hail being the main threat with this storm. You're gonna have quarter-size hail and up to 60-mile-per-hour winds. Now, when these storms get on into Missouri, I don't see them doing much. I really don't. All right. That's that mesoscale discussion. Oh wow. I get too excited for storm season. It freaks the kids out when weather comes through. See, I grew up terrified of storms. But now I'm the dude in a car chasing them. I may be getting a little too close sometimes, but I always come back safe and driving with the windshield intact. That's right. I forgot. Dad did drive into a tornado that was crossing uh, Highway 77, or is either Highway 77 or I-20 right there near the race by Talladega Super Speedway. He was trying to get back home because that tornado that touched down then, that he drove through, it touched down and hit the house that I live in now, and man, 77 through Lincoln. Okay, but yeah. So I've been close to a lot of tornadoes, but I think my dad can tell the best story, and I doubt he even remembers it. The sail is getting up to around. I mean, I'm gonna say around 63. I was dead wrong. That's pushing 70,000 feet. I mean, not 7,000. Yeah, it is pushing 70,000 feet, around 66 to 60,000 feet in the air. That is a tall storm. It is a very tall storm. Now, now everything here in about 15 minutes will shift over to the new day one, and when that happens, I do want to talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow is looking like a very interesting day. A very, very interesting day. I think tomorrow has more of a tornadic potential than today did. All day today I've been iffy about, about the tornadoes today, the tornado potential today. It looks like the possible tag has been dropped with this Manchester severe thunderstorm warning up here in, what is this, Iowa. Yeah, but tomorrow looks very, very interesting. The fact that this trough ejected so late and then it didn't eject as hard as it was predicted to, it just kind of, today just kind of existed. Now, today's not over. We do have some cells that are supposed to be firing. Once again, in the southern portion, the southwestern portion of Arkansas, going from Texarkana to Fort Smith, all the way up to Springfield, Missouri. I don't think it's going to make it that far, but we're going to have a corridor of a very localized possible tornado activity here in the next hour or so. Mm. I'm about sick of scrolling through Twitter and seeing nothing but Twitter drama. Especially weather Twitter drama. There's no need in it. Well, kids awake, gotta go. Have a good night. Nice chatting with you. Nice chatting with you as well. Feel free to join any of our socials. I don't know if you do use Discord or not. We do have one of those. I'm gonna send that link in chat. You can always contact us and talk with us there. We'd really love to just kind of shoot the bull. But if you have any questions, please contact us on social media and or join our Discord server and just ping us personally, and we'll do our best to contact you when we can. We're a smaller group, so we practically have all the time in the world to answer all this stuff. Now, like I said, when day one comes out here in a little while, we're going to discuss that. Near Conway. Near Conway. It's a little dinky thing. We're on Plainview. it's really materialized in the last little bit. I'm gonna keep an eye on this. But the one that's got my attention, the area that, like I said, that still has my attention, is down here. See everything really starting to convect down here. Um, Especially this one. This one may be something, I don't know, but all these on a more southern part of the risk, it's going to have more time to mature. But this one right here around Marshall, that's going to be an interesting cell to watch. It's already trying to get that bean shape to it. That's in the Ozark National. I wouldn't be chasing that. Nope. Look at Jordan Hall getting him a good tornado picture with his car in it. If I was a chaser and I chased for a living, I would go ahead and be making my way up towards Danville or Crawfordsville for tomorrow. Wait. Bob Meanery was riding with Reed Timmer today. I bet that was a comedic. That was a comedic crapshoot. Yeah, I agree with Vince Welty here. You remember the dude? There's a dude on social media who makes fun of everything, and like he has a really good announcer voice. His name is Bob Meanery, Menery. He's a very funny dude, and he chased with Reed Timmer today. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that VOD. I'm going to have to go back and watch it. Really watching this one around Marshall. It's back building. That's not good. Yeah, getting a little. It's still got a lot of maturing to do. It still don't even have an outflow boundary yet. Well, let's look at the Springfield right here. Yeah, it didn't have much of an outflow boundary at all. It's got some maturing to do. Hmm. This severe thunderstorm warning over here in Kansas is still chugging along. Go ahead and use the Wichita radar and just keep an eye on it. Once again, this storm is extremely tall. Last we checked, it's like pushing like 68,000 feet. 65. 66. 67. Staying pretty high. Just not taking in a lot. So like I said, once it gets over here, it may. But I'm just not too confident, and really, I'm not too confident in the rest of the night. I'm really not. We just got to figure out what's going on, you know. Just have to figure out what is going on. I'm trying to. May is midnight, nighttime cooling, probably. I mean, there's so much I want to show y'all, but I really can't. But that's why you follow us on social media, because I retweet the majority of the stuff that is very interesting to look at. I'm going to send some stuff that way now. Man, Brandon Kopic's tornado footage from earlier today is fantastic. It is fantastic. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I'm retweeting a lot of stuff right now. So if you want to make sure that you catch up with all our social media stuff that I'm retweeting, um, go check out our socials at this link. Hey, coming. Give me 1 second. It didn't do what I wanted it to. Yeah, go check it out on this link to see the pictures that I'm retweeting and everything. Because of how people are right now about their pictures and videos being shown on stream, I'm not going to do a lot of it. Now, what is this Mesoscale discussion here? Talk about a prefrontal squall line. Interesting. But when in hell are going to be your main threat for this area here? Oh boy. Let's go back and check on our little friends over here in Arkansas. Yeah, it looks like it's trying to get torn apart by Sheer. Yeah. It's not looking too good. Wow. Huh. You have a fire whirl today in Oklahoma. Interesting. Once again, not really much going on for the last. How long have I been live? I want to hang around for at least another hour, and really maybe another hour, and see how everything goes. I've been live for a little over an hour. Yeah. If it does get bad enough, I will probably, if I'm awake, rejoin and start live streaming. I'll give it here just a little while longer to materialize, because I'm not very confident in it. It looks like everything's just getting sheared apart. A severe thunderstorm watch has been issued for parts of Kansas and Missouri until 5 a.m. So south of Kansas City, involving Butler, Nevada, Pittsburgh, Joplin, Clinton, Marshall, and Sedalia. You're now in a severe thunderstorm watch with a couple of tornado possibles, but you do have scattered 2-inch hail and wind gusts exceeding 70 miles per hour. And give these a little bit longer here. Because to completely be honest with you guys, I am a little worn out from today. I've been going all day long, although I haven't been streaming. Normally, if really what I do, if I get up and I stream, I'm normally not that exhausted. But I've been running all day long, so for me, running, and getting into sitting down and getting comfortable, I start getting tired and sleepy. For those in the Kansas City metro, we do have some little bit stronger storms heading your way, but really nothing too impressive. Nothing too impressive. Um, you've got some winds, some heavy winds up to 50 mile per hour, and some nickel-sized hail. You may have a severe thunderstorm warning issued, but I really do not see anything really coming out of this. And I say that, I see that part there. Not really much there. This is a very good point. In the case of you going to bed and you don't you can't sleep with your TV on, you can't sleep with me on in the background. Do me a favor and make sure your phone is charged, and I want you to make sure it is turned up all the way. Because if a tornado were to come down your street in the middle of the night, your phone alert is going to wake you up and give you enough time to get into your shelter. Oh, yes, and please make sure your alerts are on. I understand that you turn off your Amber Alerts and stuff like that because they can get frustrating, but your life could be potentially in danger here later this evening. Whether or not that's going to happen is yet to be seen. I'm not too confident in it, but the National Weather Service in Little Rock says otherwise, and they know better than I. This little cell here is really popped up. Ooh. Looks like we're going to have another round on the 16th. And a lot of people, I don't get why. January and March, we're barely into April. We're 5 days into April. 5 days. And we really have nothing really going in Dixie yet. We still got May and the end of this month to deal with. The season's not over. It's just now starting. There's a lot of people that are complaining, well, the season's already over because the day was a bust. The day was a bust, so therefore, seasons is over. That's what I've been seeing all over social media today, because today was had turned out to be a bust. So please, just wait and see how things turn out. I mean, don't make yourself look like an idiot. Once again, really nothing much going on. We're running down to 1, 2, 3 severe thunderstorm warnings for the day, for the night, and 7 special weather statements. Let's go over and just look at what's going on in Kansas City real quick, just for giggles. Just for giggles. Let's use the Topeka radar. And that's about it. Getting a little bit of hail core coming in. That's just about it. Now let me go to day 2 because apparently this is not going to pop up. Now this is subject to change. Okay? We have a very large enhanced risk for today. Today is April 5th. It is currently 12:15 in Central Standard Time. So let me go ahead and sit up and really get real serious with you guys here for a minute. Now, we do have a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of metropolitan areas in this large enhanced risk. All the way back down to Little Rock. So everything that we say that's getting severe right now is supposed to track up into western Tennessee, western Kentucky, southeastern Missouri, all the way up into Illinois, Indiana, and the western portions of Ohio is where your enhanced risk is. But Michigan, you are in the dead center. There's no need for me to really tell you what to focus on. Chicago, you're in this as well. So in the northeastern portions of Illinois, you need to be preparing for severe weather later today. So later this afternoon. Now this is driven by a 10%. I believe it's a 10% tornado risk. As of right now, this is subject to change. It's not going to show me, is it? It is not. Okay. Well, I will pull up a website. Give me 1 second. This is a great tool for everyone to use. This website is called Pivotal Weather. It is very great. You can look at your weather models. You can look at your SPC outlooks all the way out to day 8. But let's go ahead and give that a look, shall we? Forecast SPC outlooks. It should be out. No, but it's day 2, but it'll come out shortly. But you're looking at a hatch risk, a 10% hatch risk for tornadoes, and a 5% going all the way down to Nashville and getting barely into Mississippi. So if you're really around Memphis, Tennessee, you're going to get some severe weather this today, but nothing really I would be too concerned about. But as we get around Indianapolis, Chicago, what is that? Is Columbus near there as well? I'm not real good with those states. Davin, let me go back to tomorrow's outlook on this so I can really break it down for you for metropolitan areas. So Columbus, I was right. Columbus, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Louisville, Lexington, Chicago, Milwaukee, Lansing, Detroit, Fort Wayne, Nashville, Memphis, and yes, Paducah and Mayfield, you're in this. But yet, it's really nothing I would be too awfully concerned about as of right now. But you are driven by a 10% hatch risk. As of, it hadn't quite updated yet, but your 10 sig is going to be somewhere about like this here. So this is what it's saying as of right now. This is where your 10% sig, your 10% tornado risk is going to be for later in the day. This red shows up a lot better. So here's going to be your 10% tour around this area here. So it does involve a lot of metropolitan areas. Once again, like from the time we're talking now, it is subject to change. This is why weather is indeed a science. So that's what we'll be looking at. It's looking like we're going to have a tornado-driven enhanced risk tomorrow. Actually, I was wrong. We actually have a hail and wind risk for tomorrow. You're going to have a 30% hail, enhanced hail risk, so you're going to have your significant hail risk, and you're going to have a 30% non-significant wind outlook. So it's really looking like it's going to be a tornado and hail day tomorrow. Well, today. I did not see that in the update. Last time I checked, it was just a tornado-driven event. But coming later in the day, I can understand how everything is going to turn out. Let's go back down here and look at our current event. Still really not much going on. Looks like it's still getting sheared apart. I probably will end stream here in the next 10 to 15 minutes if nothing really if these cells continue to get sheared apart. Now this one around Norman, directly west of Hot Springs, may have a chance. It may. This was the cell I was talking about earlier. This was the cell I was talking about earlier. That says if it can stay together that it will have a chance. But I'm not too sure that it will. Really, that's about all we have firing, isn't it? Just about, yeah. Just about. A severe thunderstorm warning for Kansas is still in effect. Around Iola, heading west of Fort Scott. So around Bronson, Layharp, and I know that's not Moron. I think it's Morin. Mildred, Ellsmore, Savinburg, and Mildred. Yeah, these storms. This one has been able to pull its act together a little bit. It's been able to pull it together. It still has a lot of maturing to do. Yeah, I'm still not sold on everything quite yet. I'm just not. All right, so what? I'll be right back. I'm gonna step out. I'm gonna step out just for a second and use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Ooh, don't put my headphones off. Come on, Stream Deck, work for me. Yeah, fine. I'll just go and do it myself. Of course, you can't hear me now. I mashed my button once. I'm trying to get my Stream Deck to work, but it's just not wanting to work right now. Severe thunderstorm warning, including Bronson, Kansas, Uniontown, Kansas, Fulton, Kansas, until 1:15. Yeah, that one crapped itself. Come on, get an outflow boundary going. About to take another look into what's heading in Kansas City here in just a second. Really, like I said, really not a lot has went on this stream. When I took over, really nothing went on, and especially now, nothing's really going on. But early in the day, we did have a few tornadoes on stream, or a few tornado warnings to cover on stream, but that's really about it. I'm gonna give it to, like I said, to around 12. Whew, I mean, let's bump that to 12:40. And if nothing goes on, I'm probably going to end stream. That will put me live for nearly 2 hours. New severe thunderstorm warning in Kansas for Pleasanton, Mound City, and Blue Mound, Kansas until 1 a.m. You're going to have winds exceeding 60 miles per hour with quarter-size hail. So that's going to be up here tracking directly towards Butler. This is a continuation from this cell right here that's around Lone Elm that was discussing earlier in the stream. That's going to be tracking in between Fort Scott and Butler. Nothing new has been posted. Come on, Pivotal. Update on my day one outlook. There it is. Never mind. It'll probably come out in the next 15-20 minutes. As soon as I want to end stream, day one will come out. As always. Just how it goes. Once again, not really a lot going on. Yeah, so it looks like it's starting to disorganize, getting sheared apart. Luckily, I'm very grateful for today's bust. I really, really am. We're only down to the 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. I'm going to give it just a few more minutes. About 5 more minutes. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping it up now, actually. It is 12:32 in the morning. I've worked almost all day. I am extremely exhausted. I'm going to actually take a look at these few sales coming out of Oklahoma City. Well, just before I say anything stupid. Make sure nothing's coming out of Dallas. Yeah, this one cell right here along. Never mind. This Mount Ida storm looks like crap. It looks like complete and total garbage. As of right now, it looks like garbage. It wasn't as prominent as what it was earlier in its life. I mean, it's only 50,000 feet ish. For sure, putting down a lot of rain and probably some good amount of lightning as well. But it's just not that prominent of a storm. Doesn't even have a weak mesocyclone to it. As these are entering into the more the more stable environment, I think these will really not do much. But like I discussed earlier with the weather for today, for April 5th, 2023, we do have all this weather here. Tracking this way. It has the potential to produce large hail and some tornadoes, and to bring some significant wind with it as well. So that's really what we're looking at in the upcoming day. Is there anyone in chat that has any questions or anything I can answer before I head out? No? Well, all right. Like I said, as of right now, this is subject to change. You may have a moderate risk come over central. How often does California get? Well, it depends. Do you want to talk about this year or normally? How often does California get tornadoes? Man, California this year has had an abnormally weird, shocking amount of tornadoes come off the coast. But normally they maybe get one a year. I mean, I can look that up for you real quick and give you a more definite answer. It's not a lot. I'll go ahead and Google this for you, but like I said, it's maybe on average 1 to 2 a year. How many tornadoes does California have a year? I mean, this year I think California's had like 6. Okay, so according to the National Weather Service in California, 11 tornadoes a year. It's no problem. It is absolutely no problem. Are you from California? Or thinking about moving there? They say the average 11. It's just, well, I appreciate it. You said you're from there. Well, you do know you had a tornado there earlier this, I believe earlier this. No, it was middle of last month. Just a quick spin up that just happened as just a weak EF0, which is the lowest scaling that you can get. But those were from this bowling ball trough that came through. What a bowling ball trough is, it's just a big. It's a meteorology term. And so what you had was this just wall of wind coming in. Yeah, a lot of bigger channels just they don't really pay attention to that, and that's why I say, well, you got to focus on smaller channels. Just as soon as I can answer stuff, I will, even if it's a silly question. Like earlier, I was talking football with somebody because they said they lived in Kansas City, and I was like, well, I'm sure you're proud of what happened with the Super Bowl, and we ended up talking about the Super Bowl. I mean, luckily, today's severe weather was a bust, which is fantastic for what my group has went through and several other storm chasers that have been through the last few weeks. It's good to breathe, but yeah, it's not Blue Mount, Missouri. It's not really anything to worry about. Majority of what you worry about in California is a lot of flash flooding. I know y'all just had all the flooding around Fresno and Bakersfield, and you just had all of that there recently. But that's mainly what I see in California is flooding outside of wildfires. Mount Blue, Mount Blue, Mount Blue. So how long have you lived in California? Has it been all your life? Are you someone who just recently have moved there? Yeah, I know it's gonna be crazy when the storm starts, when the snow starts melting. Oh, this cell, ain't really gonna do much. Your whole life, 39 years. Wow. I was born and raised in Alabama. Born and raised. Just a good old country boy who's trying just to make a living. Not make a living do this, but just get through life. Hayward, California. Let's see what that. I'm not gonna DOS you. Hayward. Because I'm curious. I'm not outside of LA or San Jose. I'm not real familiar um, with California. I'm familiar with a lot of states. Oh, you're right. Oh, so you're right there near what's that called? Brentwood, and north of San Jose. Yeah, east of San Francisco. Yeah, you also may have to deal with a few hurricanes. I'm not real familiar with the weather out in California. All I know is the tornadoes are next to nothing. Uh, Hurricanes are a thing, and flooding and wildfires are very constant in California. I would like to go visit the mountain ranges out there though one day. I really would. Live on the west edge of town. Oh boy! So if any flooding happens, you're one of the first one to get it, coming right out of the bay. Let's go ahead and see what radar is looking for you right now. You're looking at either partly cloudy or starry skies, with hardly any. You may have a little bit of rain over here around Antioch, but I mean you don't really have a lot going on tonight. Yeah, that's just way too many. Ugh, I don't. Just looking at that road gives me a right by the old lake pond. Not gonna really look, but I can see the area where you're at. But yeah, oh, you're near Oakland. Ooh, soon as you cross that bridge, just cross the bridge, man. Well, not cross the bridge, you shoot north. Get close to the airport. Yeah, I'm from Central Alabama. So far, I think I've knocked off the majority of the Southeast. Let's see, I've been to Texas. Your name is David. Funniest thing, my father's name is David. So I've been to Louisiana, been to Texas, live in Alabama, been there, 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 been there. I've been in Missouri once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I've been yes, I've traveled through West Virginia. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 states. Yeah, David's my father's name. Oh, and y'all are a few hours behind me too. It's what? It's no problem. If you would want to, you can follow us on our social media. You can always contact us there. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out to us in our direct messages, and we will get in contact with you. If you have a Discord, we do also have a Discord server. You can contact us there as well. That's where we just kind of shoot the bull and relax with our community as we can and interact with our community involving weather and just your around everyday life. The cell is hanging on. It is hanging on. Your phone's about to die, but you'll definitely tune in next time. Alrighty, Mr. David, you take care. It is trying. You too. And don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Let me actually open up Twitter again. Just maybe trying to set up an outflow boundary. Oh, we appreciate it. We really do. Here the next few weeks, we'll have a documentary coming up involving some severe weather that happened back in 2011. So stay tuned for that. Be paying attention to that. The video's looking to be about near an hour long, which it took me like an hour and 45 minutes to record. After editing, the video will be about an hour. Storm's trying to get an inflow notch. Trying to. This behind it too is really starting to mature. Good night, Mr. David. There's only 9 tornado reports today, which is fantastic. Which is said that it seemed to extremely underperform. I mean, I'm not trying to get real, weather. Actually, yeah, forget about it. I am going to get weather discussion here in just a second. I am not really sold. I do not. When I say I do not, I mean I really do not like cams. They are very misleading. And the few times they're right, they're dead on the money. But the majority of the time when you're doing people do their forecasting, cams are just one of them things where I don't find them reliable. I mean, I barely find surface obs reliable. It's one of them things you just got to get out there. To me, it's just you got to get up there and watch. Let's see a smile. I'm sure it's been a long day. You have no idea. It's been a very long day for me. Granted, I just took over the stream just a few hours ago. Normally, I'm the one that's streaming, but man, I've worked all day today. We do have a few little sales of interest, so we're getting there. I may just hang it out for the long run, and I said about 4 times I was going to end stream at like 12:30 or 12:40, but I guess I'm gonna keep going because these few sales here look quite interesting. This one here is actually starting to set up an outflow boundary right here. We're trying to set up an outflow boundary right here as you start to get your flying bird shape, if you want to call it that. If that's the case, later on the storm will be able to take in inflow. Yeah, but just going back to that conversation, I don't really like cams. I don't. They're just one of the, at times they can be a very useful tool, but I just don't like them. So many people rely on cams, and they don't really make their personal forecast without them. And I disagree with that. I would like for people to make their own forecast and learn from their mistakes and not use all the really, quote, useful stuff. I mean, forecasting is a lot more, not basic, but it's not as hard as people make it out to be. It's not, but at the same time, there's a lot that goes in it. It's people make it out to be this really, really hard thing, and if you find your basis on everything about where your boundaries are going to be, that's about all you're going to need. After that, you just got to, keep in mind what the environment's like, what the shear is, and really you just got to sit back and watch, because the storms will tell the story as they start to form. And a lot of times it goes off of what It doesn't go off of what cams say. Like this here was, if you really want to talk about cams, they said this here was supposed to be a very large supercell, but look at what it's doing. Well, this area, it was very supportive of supercells, but it's starting to turn into a little line. And so you're saying you can be a weatherman. I mean, if you want to be a weatherman, just if you're getting on TV, a degree will help. But I mean, you don't necessarily need a degree to follow your passion or the things you love. I mean, here I am, 22 years old. I'm a storm chaser, and I've gotten into live streaming. I've live streamed a foot. I've done a lot of live streaming, whether it be on the road or radar coverage like I'm doing now. I've done a good bit of it, and I've done a lot of public speaking. But I'm not going to say don't go to school. School's an amazing thing, but and the schools will teach you a lot of stuff that I won't know. But some things that the schools will teach you is stuff you'll never use. I mean, it's just a matter of the way you want to go. How about your parents? Did they ever aspire to chase? Yes and no. I mean, my mom is very active in any weather community you can find her in. And, yeah, she chased some, but back in 2018, March 2018, I went to a town in Alabama. I had friends that are practically family in this town called Jacksonville, and had a tornado go right through right through Jacksonville State University. When I say right through it, I mean right through it. And I was there for 3 or 4 days total. I mean, I spent 2 days, so it was the day after and the day after that. And then I spent another 2 days, I spent 1 day a few days after that, and 1 day a week later, helping with cleanup efforts and just clean up the streets in the university. But that really kind of piqued my interest as into why was I so inclined to go help and even help people I didn't know. Then I started to, piddle around with radar. And for some reason, it all just kind of made sense. I didn't take classes on it. I really didn't. And for some reason, it just kind of clicked. I like to see how things work and what makes things work. And the way I think about and the way I forecast is very basic. It is very basic. Sorry, I sloshed my drink and I thought someone was walking outside, but and that's the way I like it. I like things to be basic. I like everything to be my own. And sure, I can understand all the real, nerdy jargon that everyone talks about. I mean, when you start hearing EML and the LLJ, which is the elevated mixed layer, the low-level jet, so on and so forth, is all the stuff that a lot of regular weather enthusiasts won't understand. All that I understand. I understand how to read soundings and everything. It's just I like to make my forecast my own. And when I started piddling with radar, I found a way to make it my own. And because of that, I got hooked. And then I started chasing. And my first few, I had just a few, just kind of dinky chases. Nothing really happened. I had a few tornado warnings. One of them, a lot of them never even touched down. And then I got on one in Birmingham, just outside of Birmingham in a town called, what's it called? Where is it at? Not Carbon, Brookwood, in between Tuscaloosa and Birmingham. Got on one of, or if not my first tornado in this town here. And then after that, we went on could. Where did we chase? We went to Mississippi a few times and chased in Mississippi and chased back in Alabama and chased back in Mississippi and chased back in Alabama. And me and Josh at the time never really left this core area. I mean, this is just where we chased. It's from May of last year. So May of 2022 to December 13th. We stayed in this area here. Oh, there's a new day one. I'll look at that in just a second. But this is where we stayed. And if you look at our logo, I mean, it matches up of our core chase area. Then December 13th rolled around. It was like, man, we just got to expand our horizons. I said, yeah. And so I drove from Talladega, Alabama to Meridian, Mississippi. It's like a 2.5 hour drive. It's not bad. It's like 300 and something miles. Not even 300 something miles. It's more like 230, 240 miles. I can make the drive in 2.5 hours. So I drove and I got there middle of the day. Stayed the night at Josh's house. Josh is the president of this group, and I'm the vice president. But yet, there's really the only difference between what I do and what he does is he drives a different car than I. I mean, we do the same work. We just share a different title. We just have a different title. And went to Josh's house, and we left from Meridian, Mississippi at like 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning. And went all the way to Alexandria, Louisiana, which was only like 4 hours. Not even 4 hours, 3 hours, somewhere in there. And we sat there and we waited and waited, and finally we got the cell that we was watching coming out of DeQuincy or Maryville. It was tracking like this around Natchitoches. We had a cell here. This is cell 1. This is cell 2. This one, it went tornado warning and had a great lowering. And never really touched down. So, then we had cell 2. Cell 2 never touched down either. But when I say the structure was way more impressive than Storm 1, I'm not joking. Let's go ahead and take a look at stuff real quick. Oh, they pulled the moderate for tomorrow. No, wait, never mind. Did they? I don't know what it was. I'll look at it in just a second. Because something triggered a second ago. But we got on that storm. It never touched down. Had a great lowering. And had a funnel at one point in time. And so we stayed around Natchitoches. It looks like it says Natchitoches, but it's pronounced Natchitoches. I'd rather hear my weatherman from someone like Ryan Hall or like you or Ryan Hall, someone who says something's happening in simplistic terms. You do great. Keep up the great work. Well, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. I try to keep stuff very simple. I mean, I really do. Because when people are looking at stuff like this, I understand what's going on. Like, I see here that this storm here is over convecting for now and about to do what's called a merger. These two cells are going to merge together, which could do one or two things. It could either kill the storm or intensify it. But with this outflow boundary, it's a very weak one nonetheless. It could intensify. Especially it looks like this southern end is taking an inflow. But regardless of the fact, there are so many people that look at this, and to them it just looks like I just threw a paint bucket on the wall and said, "Here, this is where a tornado is. Figure it out." And I don't like that. Okay, here's the new day one. I'll talk about that in just a second. And I don't like that, Because the more people can understand things, is the easy and the more receptive they'll be. The more receptive they'll be, the easier I can guide them to safety. Okay, so the day one came out, and they kept it at an enhanced risk, which I agree with. And so an enhanced risk is level 3 out of 5. So we do have our marginal, slight, and enhanced risk. As I discussed early in the stream, I don't know if it changed. I will take a look at that real quick. Pivotal weather. And go day one. Yeah, same thing. They did shift the tornado risk, though. For panel. They kept the SIG for hail, and that's really about it. Okay, so today it is currently 1:03 a.m. at least in Central Standard, and at least in Alabama it is April 5th. And today's weather, well, today's forecast, I guess if you want to break it down like that, is talking about a possible, I'm not saying a possible tornado outbreak, but possible tornadoes and large hail affecting far eastern Illinois. Majority of the majority of the metropolitan areas in Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. You have a 10% chance of seeing a significant tornado, as you can tell by these lines going through this yellow section here. When you see these yellow lines, that means SIG. And what I mean by that is whenever you hear people talk about a significant tornado, that means an EF2 or higher. So that's really what that means. When you hear the word significant, it means EF2 or higher. But you look at these colors, you're like, well, this is a 5%, this is a 2%, and this is a 10%. What does that mean? Well, what that means is from any given place within a 25-mile radius, you have, let's say, if you're standing in, let's go ahead and say Toledo. If you're standing in Toledo, Ohio, you have a 10% chance. You heard Brad Arnold will be live tomorrow. Yeah, Brad should be live tomorrow. Oh, covering all the severe weather. Matter of fact, let's see if he's got his tracker on. That's Brandon Kopic. There's Brad. Brad's down here in St. Louis. He's probably getting him some sleep. There's Brad Arnold right there. Yep, Brad is in St. Louis. But, so if you're in, let's say, if you're standing in Toledo, you have a 10% chance of seeing a tornado that's to EF2 or higher in a 25-mile radius. So any place where you are, you have a 10% chance of seeing a tornado within a 25-mile radius. Same thing with the 2%. Same thing with the 5%. Heard Ryan Carty is with him too. Yeah, Ryan Carty's with him. Him and Brad actually get along very well. I don't remember if Brad Arnold is from Alabama or not, but I know Ryan Carty is. Ryan Carty, and actually one of my friends of mine, his name is Mark McCarty. You have Ryan Carty, and you have Mark McCarty. Different last names. They grew up in northeastern Alabama around Florence and Hamilton. They're good friends. Well, they're good friends. They grew up working together, going to school together, and they end up working in an ambulance together. You said Brad's from Huntsville? I didn't know that. But they grew up working together on an ambulance and grew together and became good friends. So I'm actually friends with one of Ryan's friends, and I've talked to Ryan Carty on a few occasions. But getting away from that. Yeah, but Brad and Ryan, they work very well together. Brad is a go-get-em. Ryan's a go-get-em, but Ryan just doesn't really talk a lot, especially when he's chasing. And that is one of the And to me, that's a good combo, like Vince Welty and Brandon Kopic. You guess you could say you're one of Brad's friends. Are you in Brad's Discord server? Brad Arnold's Discord server. If not, here you go. I normally don't advertise other people because, you're a Brad Arnold fan. I will give you that link. Okay, there's that. There's that sale I was talking about, how it intensified. Now, I'll go ahead and send our Discord server as well. We're not normally as active as I have some members in Brad's Discord server. We're just kind of more just a laid back, just hang out and talk type deal. But Brad's server, I mean, I can guarantee you right now, if I would look over to Brad's server, there'd be like 3 to 5 people in there. And they're probably discussing today's outlook around Indiana, and they're probably talking about this cell here around Plainview, Arkansas, tracking northeast, south of Russellville, and tracking right over the town of Atkins. And that's probably what they're talking about. Why don't I look? I'm going to put if I were to bet, I'd say there's 4 people in the call right now. If I were to look, there's 3. There's 3 people in the call. Which one do you think you know? I don't like how that looks. Yeah, I really don't like how that looks. Keep an eye on that. Alrighty. What time is it? It is 1:15. I'm pretty sure that the severe weather is over for today. I'm pretty sure. Well, at least for this section. I mean, there's a few sales going on. I mean, this severe thunderstorm warning ends in 3 minutes. It's got a little hell to it. It may get extended later on. These cells over here, they're looking quite interesting. I mean, it does have a special weather statement on it, and they are in a decent environment. But the problem is, I don't think I say that. The problem is the environment is not as great as what it was. There's an extremely strong cap in place. What a cap is imagine taking a layer of saran wrap and putting the sky about 50,000 feet in the air, and you have a storm punching it until it's able to get through. So that's really the best way to describe a cap. So, I mean, there is a heavy, heavy cap in place. So in this area here, in this mesoscale discussion, they're talking about the possibilities. Although the possibilities are really not that high. Any cell that can become rooted, um, you may have a few tornadoes be able to touch down. So if you're in this runabout this area, but really I would say this area in here would be really what you're looking at. And if there would be a cell to do it, it'd be this one. This one looks like crap. That one looks like crap. That one looks like crap. And this one right here with the National Forest tracking towards Russell would be the one to do anything if it were to do something. All right, do you have any questions or anything before I end stream? No. Alrighty, give me 1 second. It's not what I meant to do. But I guess this will work because there's severe thunderstorm warnings going on. All right, thank you for everyone who watched the stream. I know this evening or this Mama G, yeah, that's Mama G. How do you know Mama G? Well, I am worried about it because Mama G's my mama. I will. But thank everyone for watching. Thank you for all our new subscribers and the new viewers that we had tonight. Your support means the world to us. And with your help, eventually we should be able to get to meet our goal of eventually becoming something similar to a non-profit group with the money that we do make can fund our chases and okay, fund our chases, and eventually we want to be able to start sending some of those funds to storm victims. So without y'all, we wouldn't be able to do that. So we're slowly getting there, and I'm in no hurry to get there. But thank everyone for what you do and what you mean to us, and I want everyone to stay weather aware over the next few days. And if models continue to be stupid and not really give us any general direction how things are going to go and just be all over the place, don't really expect a forecast video from us anytime soon, because I personally do not like putting out forecast videos when you have models in such a disagreement. But the moment that we start getting agreements on models, I will start posting videos. It may be the day before or 2 days before, but yeah, I'm just gonna end it here. But yes, donate to the Patreon. We do have there's a monthly subscription thing. I think our highest subscription is $15, and you'll be able to get like some, how can I say this? Some special privileges. You'll be able to get in contact with us. We're gonna make up a specific Discord channel for y'all. The higher the rank, the more the privileges. So you'll be able to access member-only live streams, and you really get to see what I do behind the scenes. Get ready for streams, like editing documentaries, and be involved in the research process. And maybe, depending on what I do, you would be involved in just random traveling streams, where I'd just be bored and it's like, you know what? I've got a few hours to get to where I'm going. Just start a stream and just hang out. I mean, we may end up doing that over time. I've been trying to do it before. But y'all have a good night.